Nah, for real. It's gritty.
Man, this joint too sweet, G.
I don't give a fuck how you feeling.
Hell no.
I'm out here hustling, wheeling and dealing. Shit be hard, but you're clueless.
You don't know?
Out here wasting space, you're fucking useless. You have no idea what the struggle looks like. Talking shit like you Dolomite.
Bad motherfucker.
Thinking living a struggle is a flex. Capping, talking about you living in the jets. The jets ain't nothing to brag about.
For real.
Trying to work hard and get the fuck out.
Okay.
Tired of looking at all these drugs, all these people acting like they the plug. People out here wanna be thugs, till their ass get hit with a slug.
Hey.
Face on the ground, laying in blood. Now he a snitch ratting on the plug.
Bitch.
All I see is a fake ass flex. You gon' have nothing but a lot of regrets.
Damn.
You claiming stacks, but your pockets thin. Flexing on the gram, trying to fit in.
Fake ass.
Making it in the rap game, feeling real good. Got them bands stacked, making it out the hood. Making it in the rap game, feeling real good. Got them bands stacked, making it out the hood. Sometimes I wanna go back and reflect where I came from.
Facts.
Thinking of all the memories and feeling numb. Knowing all the tragedies that I succumbed. I can't settle for less, I can't be a bum. I know that you see it, the world in my palm. I've been so mellow, I've been moving calm. But soon as I drop, it's gonna sound like a bomb. I'm that bitch, preferably a goddess. Don't have a lot of options, but I'm still the topic. Whatever I post, I know you gon' watch it. Soon as I buy me a Cuban and watches. But let's not be misunderstood. Granny wanna see y'all doing good. There's enough money to go around. We could be doing it pound for pound. Making it in the rap game, feeling real good. Got them bands stacked, making it out the hood. Making it in the rap game, feeling real good. Got them bands stacked, making it out the hood. Making it in the rap game, feeling real good. Got them bands stacked, making it out the hood. Making it in the rap game, feeling real good. Got them bands stacked, making it out the hood.
Hey, welcome to the Gulag, everybody. Dan, welcome to fucking Granny's Gulag. How are you doing today, brother?
Dude, that intro was fucking straight fire, man. That bitch could drop some bars, man. That was awesome.
Yeah, man.
Who's that? Is that somebody famous? Should I know that broad?
I don't know. I don't want to bring up their name because they ain't copyright striked us yet for it. So Korn found it, and I had red hair at the time too, so it went together. You know what I mean?
Fantastic. I love it. Well, I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. This is like the second episode of the Granny, whatever the Granny Project or whatever you're calling this, plus or minus, give or take.
Granny's Gulag. I mean, it depends on what you want to like define as episodes. Nah, this would probably be around 100 or so.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah, so yeah, it came from the Twitch days and shit, and I'm just migrating it over to YouTube because I know a lot of people still like Twitch and shit, and shout out to everybody on Twitch here. We got a few of them: Space Marauder, K, Balls over on fucking Twitch, G-Locks over on Twitch. I'll be doing this show on both platforms, but I'm just trying to get everything over to the YouTube aspect of it. So, but yeah, no, I did this for years, man.
Cool. Well, I'm happy to be on part of the YouTube unification with Twitch. I know Lemmy's got her Twitch thing and the Rumble thing in the mornings. So it's kind of like you guys she got the mornings, you got the nights on lock on certain nights, and it's like a whole project. But I'm really excited to be here. It's funny. I'm actually taking a month off from my show, although Deb is going to be in my place, I think, tomorrow. But you're really the only show that I'm doing, partly because I promised, but also partly because, you're an awesome guy. And I there's nobody I'd rather hang out with and just shoot the breeze on a Thursday night, have a coffee and maybe a beverage and hang out and just shoot the shit. So happy to be here.
I appreciate it, man. I think this was a long time in the making. We spoke about having like this kind of like get to know each other thing. So let's just start there, man. How did you get into all this shit? Like, how did you get into podcasting and like especially like into the world that I guess we're both involved in now?
All right, cool. So Yeah, great. And so I guess this is my Johnny Gibbons. Jesus H Christ, I'm out. I'm cross streaming over to my thing, and people are like, "What the fuck is this?" I do this with Jack sometimes too. People are like, "What is going on? What's the puppet? Where'd the puppet come from?"
Yeah,
But no, but
it's
it's
understandable.
no, awesome to be here. So yeah, where did I come from? Okay, who the fuck is this guy? Who's this Dan guy? Where did he come from? So my origin story, my hero, every hero has origin story, right? So I kind of came up a little bit on the old Opie and Anthony subreddit. I'm a big Opie and Anthony fan. I always been, always a fan. Used to like the Howard Stern show, but really I was more of an Opie and Anthony guy. And I also had done a long time ago when podcasting and streaming first came up. I had a SoundCloud. I was a SoundCloud rapper. No, not really a rapper, but
Oh man, did you have business card here like a black dude in the parking lot talking about fucking let me listen? Here's my SoundCloud.
no, I wasn't rapping, but I was doing a podcast about football of all things, like NFL football. So, so
Okay.
if you go on SoundCloud and you look it up, you could find it. In fact, some people have found it. Maybe I'll play it sometime. It's really funny. And I had like the Yeti mic, and I thought I was something else, and I was doing SoundCloud, and maybe 5 people would watch it and or listen to it. It was all audio. Roast this imbecile, Daniel.
You can try,
But no,
motherfucker.
Granny's equal or better. I'm going to try to stay in my lane with the grand man.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't mean to fucking cut you off there, sorry.
no, all good. But it's funny, I did that, and I did it for like a year or year and a half, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like nobody's listening to this. Nobody cares what I have to say
So
about football. But
well, it
it
was
was
just a
niche
sports
for me.
it was a sports podcast on SoundCloud just about what would you give them, like, takes or, like, betting advice or you can't really
Little
give
bit of
advice?
everything. Yeah, betting
Okay.
advice, like draft, who was seeing in the draft, who I liked that week. So yeah, I basically did like an hour every week, and I talked about NFL, like everything I could think of NFL related. And I love football, still do. And I just really, it was to scratch an itch. Like I wanted kind of like a creative outlet. It seemed really fun. So I had this itch, I did it, and then I stopped doing it, and it's just whatever. And then I've always been kind of an internet, person who likes to hang out and cause trouble on the internet. So that's part of kind of my personality. Um, but when the YouTube stuff, I'd been watching and then started kind of following certain people and some of the shit first stuff. And I said, man, I gotta fucking throw my hat in the ring. I gotta get back in the game. I gotta dust off the mics. And when yeah, no, yeah, you're back where
Well,
it's
I know I'm taking it off. I have to now.
lose the shirt.
I'm listening.
But yeah, I wanted to get back in the game, wanted to throw my, I saw all these hacks out there, and I said, I can fucking do this. So let's get in it. Let's get back in it. And no, it's been really cool, and networking with, people. And my thing is, I think have kind of a little bit of an outsider mentality. Does Dan always thought? I just, so I'm in my, by the way, so for everybody that's watching, you usually see me with that stupid green screen Vegas. This is the new studio, guys. This is the new studio that's dropping January. So I'm still trying to get like with the seat, the right thing. So I'm a little bit like out of my comfort zone. This is really the first time I've actually even used this desk, and I'm streaming from it. So my apologies if I'm slouching. Maybe I'll try to sit up a little bit.
It looks great, man. What is that, a T-Rex on the damn shelf back there in the
Yeah,
middle?
we got the fucking T-Rex, we got hats, we got the streets. I mean, there's so much stuff, and then it's gonna be. So I don't give away everything, but it's gonna be multi-cam. So I'm gonna have one cam that's kind of like for the whole studio cam, and then kind of like one sort of like a side view kind of cam that I can kind of switch back and forth. So it's gonna be like Winby meets Red Bar meets Melton meets whatever. So I got my own studio. It's better than fucking whatever Chad's doing. No offense, Chad, love you, Chad, but I'm not in the corner. This isn't a Chrissy Mayer kind of like huddled up in a corner. I got a big ass fucking finished basement. I've got a fireplace. I've got TVs everywhere. There's
That's
gonna be a bar
badass, dude.
area. It's gonna be like fucking. This is gonna be like pretty legit. I got a neon sign coming next week, so let's rock. So we got that studio coming, but yeah, and just getting back to me, I've been doing the show for off and on for 3 years. Really, the first year I was kind of talking more about and it wasn't really talking about like the shit verse. I was talking about these random like internet Kiwi farms kind of characters and talking about people that I knew from the internet. And it's kind of evolved to a little bit of that, but then definitely talking about kind of the shit verse places. So happy to damn, that autofocus is killing me. I was waiting for PSP to come in with either audio or visual things. I'm still working on it. It's still a work in progress, but I'll take any
He's
input
gonna
from the
bitch. He
PSP.
bitches about fucking everything, man. He's a curmudgeon. Just
Yes.
let him bitch about it. So all right. So what was your? So you were an O&A guy. That's probably what inspired you to start doing what you're doing, right? That's what I'm assuming from what you
Yes,
said.
absolutely. It's kind of
You?
inspiration definitely from Opie and Anthony, definitely inspiration from old school kind of radio, shock jockery, so to speak.
Yeah,
Using
yeah.
the internet, using the YouTube stuff, showing clips, kind of just a mishmash of a lot of things, bringing it all together and just trying to bring my, unique perspective hopefully to things and and keep the thing alive, keep the dream alive. Another reason why I felt like I had to get in the game was the last fucking 3 or 4 years in the world and in this country, and not to get all political, but it's been fucking dog shit, right? I mean,
Hold on. You're a foreigner?
no. I'm American. I'm from Boston,
Okay.
but
Okay.
just like the vibe of everything, starting with COVID and just I don't want to woke and politically correct, but just people are afraid to fucking speak their minds. They're afraid to lose their jobs about saying what they want to say. And I frankly don't give a fuck. I'm going to say whatever I want to say and people are going to like it. And I'm good enough in my job that I'm not worried. And people have tried to get me fired, believe it or not. People have reached out to my employer and said, Dan's a racist, Dan's this, Dan's that. And my employer is just like, whatever, Dan's a fucking producer. We don't give a fuck. So that's how I roll. And I think more people need to buck up and just have the faith that they're going to be okay. And now I think we're back in a place where people aren't getting canceled anymore. People that ship has sailed. Some fucking blue hair on Twitter isn't going to get you fired unless you just suck at your job at this point.
Yeah, no, it has come to that, man. The pendulum always swings back, right? I think I got that one from Lemmy. The pendulum always swings back, and yeah, I've had a couple people try to and I was wearing like the company shirt, had the phone number on it on some shows. They called him and told him I was racist. I think his exact words can't be spoken, but it started with N and ended with R, and quit calling me.
Nagger?
Well, yeah,
People that
close.
annoy
Yeah,
you?
close. Yeah. Again, I work trades, so they don't really give a fuck. They know what I do. They know like all this shit. So it's fine really with me. But it is weird how people get like mad about words and shit. I just never been that guy. I'm knee deep in discussion about whether this hitman is a pro or bumbling idiot patsy. I think that's about you, but I don't know what it means.
Well, the hitman, I think they're talking about the guy that got mowed down in Manhattan. Did you see that? You saw that, I'm assuming. The CEO
damn,
from the insurance company?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Good for him.
So my whole thing with that is, and people don't like, they're trying to run him down, yeah, let's go find him so we can pin the, hero of the day award on this guy for taking out this fucking piece of shit CEO. No, but I half kid there, but it could be anybody, right? Insurance, who likes insurance companies? Who likes CEOs? This guy probably has more enemies than anyone. Who knows if he was stepping out on his wife? Who knows if he had gambling debts with the mob? I mean, it could be anything. He was getting investigated for insider trading. So, I mean, it could be anybody. It looked like it could be a professional hit because the guy had like a silencer, but the guy didn't really look like he knew what he was doing anyway with it. So it
See,
could
I
just
don't
be
know a
somebody
lot
whose
about it.
grandmother died and didn't get fucking insurance coverage or something. You never know, man. It's crazy.
Didn't they stab the damn Cash App man to death too?
The what? The what?
The dude who invented Cash App. And hold on one second.
Oh,
Space Marauder, I can't see the fucking subs on the damn thing, man. Just say it. Fucking throw a fit in the fucking chat. Do
thank
what
you to
wanna
all
do.
new subs. Please, by the way, for any people that are my audience, please sub on Granny's channel. And I'm sure he'll share that at some point tonight. And obviously, or sub on my channel as well. But
Yeah.
Granny, we want to get Granny. I want to get. So are you monetized yet on YouTube? I assume
No,
not,
not
right?
yet, man. No,
All right.
not yet.
It's like Uncle Jack. We got to get you up and running so you get the super chats and the Twitch, whatever Twitch bucks or whatever they send. I mean,
Don't
probably have
worry
those.
about it, bro. I'll get there in time. We don't have to pitch that, man. No, okay, so you came from O&A and shit, and then you started a fucking sports cast, and then how like what drug you into quote unquote the fucking Dabbleverse?
Yeah, so it's a great question. So my co-host, well, first, I've known of Kevin Brennan from like the Compound Media stuff. So Compound Media, I followed a little bit. I wasn't really super into it, but I followed it a little bit. Definitely know Howard Stern, so I've heard of Stuttering John, and I saw that he was kind of an internet sensation a little bit, but. It really was Deb, my co-host, who started watching my show when I really wasn't talking about the Hackverse, and she's just like, "Well, why don't you cover this person, or why don't you check out Kevin Brennan or Chad or whatever?" Um, and then I just started kind of figuring that was a good way to grow my audience. I'm always looking to try to expand, and it's I like those comedians. I've always Opie and Anthony has always been a big show about comedians and about kind of a hang. And really that's kind of what the shitverse is. There's a lot of comedic elements. There's obviously Bob Levy. I'm very familiar with him. I know him from when he used to eat blue cheese out of girls' asses. I mean, that was his whole claim to fame. And so yeah, I started covering that, and it was funny. One night, Deb and I were just talking about some random thing, and somebody, I think Leo Gunn, sent Kevin Brennan the link, and Kevin. Next thing I know, Kevin Brennan's like hopping in the show, and I'm like, all right, I guess we've arrived. I guess we're in there. So, and then it's been good from there, and had Chad on the show. I went on with Ray DeVito. I've been on some other shows and stuff, and obviously BYB. So yeah, it's been fun, and it's kind of been sort of a quick rise. I haven't been here for very long, but I ain't going anywhere. So excited to be part of the world.
Hell yeah, man. Yeah, I kind of got drug into it on the back of a wheelchair. Um, speaking of BYB,
A
but yeah, no,
motorized wheelchair.
yeah, with a damn joystick on it, man. Motherfucker's legs didn't work. But no, I've had a good time with a lot of the fucking characters, dude. Bob's cool as fuck to hang out with. And the same goes for Shuli, even though they're having whatever the fuck they're having. That's none of my goddamn business. Yeah, we've worked with some fucking cool people on BYB and shit. I've been dicks to almost all of them. So that was cool. I did want to talk about you and Steel Toe though.
Okay.
Because do you recall that incident where this is how I'd learned about you,
Okay.
is that we got blamed for your show for Johnny Crutches. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do. Yes. Yep. So
Yeah.
I guess Corn Diff has had Johnny on his show before. I know you do Corn Diff, and yeah. So Johnny, it was funny. Johnny had that. Well, he's a very emotional guy, Johnny. He's cried on camera a few times, and I knew of Steel Toe. I kind of am, I don't know if I said neutral on Steel Toe. It's more kind of, he amuses me how hacky he is a little bit, but that episode where Johnny Crutches was crying because someone was sending in mean chats. I don't know if it was Mersh or somebody.
It was
and
Mersh. Yeah, Mersh had
Mersh.
made him cry. Yeah.
So yeah, I was like, I'd love to get this fucking guy on my show. And I sometimes it's easier to get sort of the side characters, like to reach out to Aaron Imholt. He's gonna, oh, who am I? He's gonna big time me. But I reached out to Johnny. I just, sent him I don't know if an email or a message. I said, hey, I'd love to have you on the show and chat sometime. And he's like, yeah, I'd like to do it. But he was like, there's certain things I don't want to talk about. And I said, okay, fine. And this was like in May, I think, when I reached out to him, and schedules didn't work out. And then he kind of just dropped off, and I said, okay, fine. And so I just figured, okay, never going to do anything with him. And then out of the blue, like 3 months later, he's like, hey, you still want to have me on your show? I said, yeah, sure. And it just so happened it was when a lot of the polycule shit was going down, where Nick Rekieta was in court. Aaron got arrested. All this shit like dropped all at once. Aaron had the new girlfriend who people were talking about online. Slam piece.
man. Fucking all of it, dude. Yeah.
It all hit at
I'm-
once, and it just I was like Johnny really wants to come on. And I said, and I've always tried to be fair with people behind the scenes, like characters. When you get on the camera, it's one thing, but behind the scenes, I said, hey, look, is there anything you don't want me to talk about? I don't want you to lose your gravy train here with Steel Toe. And to exactly what Johnny said, I've got the email or the message somewhere. He said that nothing is off limits, is what he said to me. So I said, all right, let's fucking play ball. So he comes on, and Deb and I did a little show prep. We weren't planning to get too probing. Of course, we were going to ask about Steel Toe. I mean, that's what he's known for, right? And we asked about Nick Rekieta and some things. He's like, I don't really want to talk about that. I don't know anything more than you do. And I said, okay, fine. And then we were asking him about his personal stuff, his show, his dating things. And we'd ask a question, and he'd only really have like a sentence response. And I'm like, can you talk? I was like, can you talk a little bit more?
Yeah, please.
We're trying to do a show. And me and Deb were just looking at each other like, I don't know what to do. And Deb, out of the blue, asked about Slam Piece, Aaron's girlfriend. And she says,
or wait, was that when the comment got brought up with wasn't it her name on the screen or something like that?
Yeah, I brought up the subreddit, and it had supposedly her picture and her name that was kind of going around on Melton's Discord or on subreddit or something.
Who fucking cares? But
wherever it came from, but it was out there. It was out there, and we didn't pull this out of. I mean, everybody was talking about it, so we both kind of like sort of tag teamed him a little bit. Is like, is this Slam Piece? Is Anne Gosh or whatever her name is Slam Piece? And Johnny kind of got a little defensive. He's like, well, she's a real person, and I've met her, but she's definitely not Slam Piece. And he got really, really defensive about it. And then we just kind of like let it go. Then he had some other funny comments. He said that Aaron's gay. I mean, it was a lot of just joking around and things like that. We had the show. It was great. It was like an hour and a half. It was good. And after the show was over, I didn't know. I thought it went well, but sometimes you don't know. I thought we were pretty fair with him. We weren't assholes, and we didn't, anything he told us to stop talking about, we didn't talk about. And then, so that was a Friday night. Fast forward to Sunday night when Aaron does, I guess, his members only show, which I don't watch, but somebody, clipped it, Doom or somebody. And he's like, we need to talk about my co-host or, something that happened the other night. Johnny got a little over his skis and started, and he basically was berating Johnny about our appearance.
I was listening. Yeah, I heard it. Yeah,
it was just really funny. And I'm like, oh, I guess that we've arrived with the Steel Toe. And he literally talked about us every day that week. Like basically Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, he spent like 20 minutes or so talking about and making fun of me. And I sent him an email. I in hindsight, it was,
that was a bad move.
It was
you
kind of
look like a pussy on it. Yeah,
it looked kind of a pussy.
You look like a pussy on it. Yeah.
So that was a learning experience for me. So I won't be doing that again. But he's still, every once in a while, Steel Toe will bring me up, and he loves to talk down on me. And I'm that Dan guy, or there's a lot of audio drops I could probably pull out of that week. But he did not. He got very, very defensive. But Steel Toe, Aaron Imholt, I think we've all probably figured out whether you like him or not. I know Lemmy used to mod or whatever, be big into his show.
There's a lot of his fans in here, or X. I don't know. I don't really. It doesn't matter to me. Listen to what the fuck you want to. So
I got nothing against him. He's actually entertaining when he's not begging. Like when he's not begging for change, he could be a pretty entertaining radio guy. Like he's not bad at all. But he does not think kindly of me. And also he has sort of this weird thing with relationships that he has, whether it be significant others, co-hosts. He definitely wants to be controlling of them a little bit. And I think his control got taken away by Johnny going on that other show. I don't think he really liked having Johnny spread his wings and be talking about him without prior approval.
No,
I gave Johnny $50, by the way, for the show.
He blamed us for it.
Oh yeah, he said he thought it was corn diff. He's like, oh, that Johnny went on corn diff and screwed everything up, and poor corn diff. And you guys are like, no, Johnny didn't say anything like that on our show. So
We
that
didn't
was a
even
kind of
I
interesting
mean, I
angle.
talked about it for like maybe 4 minutes at the end of the show. And he was allowed to say whatever the fuck he wanted to, but at the same time, man, it was like whatever. Say what you want. Like, if you don't want to say it, say, hey, I don't want to fucking say it. But other than that, it was a great time. I love Johnny, man. I've met Johnny. Johnny's a good fucking dude. I've met Aaron.
Yeah.
Really, he's not. I mean, other than like letting a lawyer fuck his wife and shit, like, I mean, and that doesn't really make you a bad fucking guy at all. Like, if he were to not be obsessed about that fucking goal, he would actually do an entertaining show.
Yeah, if he could focus exactly, if he could just focus, deliver value. And that's what I would say, a tip for anyone that wants to do streaming or podcasting or anything. Don't beg, don't look at what other people are making, don't feel like you're inferior. Go out, get better every time, try to get better, practice, go on other shows, network, evolve. It takes time. One of the things I asked Kevin, I said, how did you get to be how do you get where you're getting all these super chats and making all this money? He's like, when I started, I didn't big shit. Nobody was sending me money or super chatting. I was doing it for free. It's time. It's all about time. It's about repetition, people growing an audience, building a community, people knowing, okay, every week, Granny's going to do his show. Okay. Every Thursday or Friday, Dan's going to do his show. And then talking to the people, you get to know who likes the show, and maybe you're on a Discord or a Reddit, or you're just in the chat, whatever it might be. That's how you become successful, whether it's shitverse or anything. Anybody that builds a community, it's over time. I mean, the same thing with Ricada. That's how he got so popular. He built up an audience doing the law streams, and people knew that he was, anytime Johnny Depp was having a show, Nick Ricada was the guy to go to. That's how you become successful, and it doesn't happen overnight. It's not like you can go viral and be like a millionaire streaming. It really is a grind over time. It's got to be something you like.
Yeah.
And for me, it's just a hobby. Like, I have a regular job. I don't have any illusion that I'm going to be fucking Joe Rogan. Although if Spotify wants to give me $90 million, I will absolutely take it and do a show. But I just do this in my free time. It's fun. It's a good way to scratch that itch. Like I said, meet interesting people and talk shit about people on the internet, which is also fun to do.
Yeah, and that's what it is, man. Is it like it is? If you treat it, and I think that's Aaron's mistake, really. When you treat this as a living, and you have to beat down the fucking door of send me money, that's where you fuck up, man. Sam Bibley, let's get to the chat here a little bit.
Sure.
Sam Bibley said he headbutted his wife. I don't know what the fuck was happening that night. I'm not going to say that headbutting your wife's a cool thing to do, but I don't know exactly the context of that. So I'm not going to condemn a dude on a little bit of a domestic unless, the rest of it really came
We've all
out.
had contentious arguments with our significant others, but if he did in fact hit her or headbutt her, then yeah, that's not cool. But I don't know. I can't speak to any of those allegations, so I don't.
But we don't know if it maybe she might have attacked him.
Sure.
Like, who knows? Like who the fuck knows? I've only domestically abused one person on accident.
Yeah,
and they got hit with a phone book. Wasn't my fault though. I threw the phone book, but they opened a door to come back in and say, "Fuck you again." And I had thrown the phone book at the door. And when the door opened, wham! They got hit with the fucking phone book. And I was like, don't act like you thought I did that shit on purpose, because I didn't. Let's see. That's how Nick Ricada got an audience. The Johnny Depp trial. Yeah. Wow. Glad I missed that. How pathetic.
Yeah, Johnny Depp and Kyle Rittenhouse. Those are the big trials. That's where he created a lot of his audience, and all the wine moms were watching, because I guess he was I don't know if you'd say a non-practicing lawyer or what he was, but he had the days off free, and he had some quasi-law background, and it just took off from there. So, I mean, he has some talent. I mean, he was entertaining enough to build up that audience. So, hat tip to him. But now he's obviously a little bit of a clown.
Deadpool says he sent him a video on the proper technique for using a headbutt in a street fight. Oh shit! But yeah, man, I don't know. Like I said, with the domestic shit, like I've had friends that I'm no longer friends with because it became a pattern. Like one time, all right, man, like some shit might have went down. You probably fucked up, whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
who knows? Some bitches just won't stop sometimes, Dan. I don't. Are you
Some
married?
bitches are crazy. Some guys are crazy. There is, more than one side to a story. But I definitely am zero tolerance. I think where a lot of us are conditioned to believe the woman. I think we've all kind of been put there, by society
Absolutely.
and frankly, you should sympathize with a woman. Women should not be beaten. A man that beats on a woman intentionally or is abusive is a piece of shit. And I have zero tolerance for that. In fact, there's probably people that I excommunicated from my life because I suspected they might have that sort of in them a little bit. I have zero tolerance for that.
The
However,
woman beaten?
there are
Yeah,
psycho
yeah.
bitches out there that will lie and will instigate and are just as abusive as a guy is. So it goes both ways. You've got to really kind of dig under the surface. Not to, well, I'll call out one like the Pat and Felicia thing, which is a big shit verse for people that watch the MLC show. Felicia to me comes off as a total psycho bitch. The fact that every time she gets interviewed, all she talks about is a guy she dated for 6 weeks 2 years ago. That to me says you are fatal attraction, boil the bunnies, psycho bitch, and anything that comes out of your mouth, you got to take with a grain of salt. Pat Dixon may be a piece of shit. He may be physically abusive or mentally abusive, but if somebody's abusing you, go to the police, leave the relationship. But the fact that you're still talking about it 2 years later, that
Well,
to
I'm not
me is
saying
on
about that,
you.
Pat. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I was just on the show with Pat. Pat seems like a good dude to me. I mean, the women beating shit, dude. Like I've got my ass whipped by a bunch of women because I wouldn't fucking hit them back, and I said some aggressive shit to them. I got beat with a goddamn staff one time
Oh
at a
wow.
fucking punk rock show. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, man. I personally will take the ass whooping before fucking hitting a bitch, but I can see where you would be driven to that point. That's my personal feelings on
Absolutely. It's like the famous comedian. I don't know who it was Chris Rock or somebody else or Chappelle. I never hit a bitch, but I'll shake the shit out of her,
it.
or I never hit a woman, but I understand I understand why you would,
Yeah, but I understand. I think it was
but
Chris
I
Rock.
understand. I
Yeah.
understand. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, so like, all right, one time I got into it with a chick. Well, I got into it with her boyfriend, and we had a fight or whatever. And her dad and her boyfriend came out, beat the fuck out of me. She was also beating the fuck out of me. So you know what you do in that instance? Then you take a damn skateboard and bust out all the fucking windows in their car. See, that's like I didn't have to hit her, but I got her back.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of a walk away guy. I just if shit gets testy, I'm like, all right, I'm getting the car, walk away, give it a night to cool off. That's usually the best thing to do, man. You get fucking fired up, you say the wrong thing, it gets physical. Not that I've ever had a physical fight, but
You've never
you know,
struck a woman?
no, absolutely not. But I've had
Oh,
a
me
woman
either.
come close to striking me, and I mean, frankly, I'd rather take the punch or take the whatever the smack or the whacking me with a I don't know whatever a spoon or something. Like I'd rather take that, turn away, walk away, and just all right, let's cool off and let's leave it to another day. Nothing good is going to come for letting things escalate. You gotta cut it stop in its tracks.
No, I was fighting two dudes, and this bitch jumped on my back. She beat me fucking worse than the other
Oh
dudes
wow.
did. And they're like, "Don't hit her." I'm like, "I'm not. Fucking get her off of me." Fuck. I'm like trying to. She was on my back, dude.
Yeah, some of those chicks that can get in, dust up there, man. Those are some scary gals, but they're out there, man. They're probably more in the south. It's probably running into more of those ladies down there. Although I guess in
Yeah,
the
you
north we
think?
got some hair pullers and scratchers. My wife, I'll tell you, if you were a woman, I wouldn't want to fight my wife. My wife fucking scares the shit out of me. I think she'd probably kick any woman's ass. So,
You think
um,
so? Is she a bigger gal?
no, she's smaller, but she's what we call it ethnic. She's from Brazil,
Puerto
so
Rican. Oh shit! Yeah, that's a fucking
Yeah,
Puerto Rico on
there's the
steroids.
The Hispanics, they have something in them, man, that makes it like they can go crazy real quick, and you don't wanna rub them the wrong way. So I know to shut my mouth and not instigate, but
Yeah.
if she gives you those eyes, man, I wouldn't want to be a chick on the receiving end.
Hell yeah, man. So another question I had, what's the backstory with you and Deb? I know that how'd y'all meet? How did that whole thing fucking start working out?
Yeah, so it's funny. So Deb, when I started doing my show about 3 years ago, she was just somebody that was in the audience. I'd have like 30, 40 viewers or whatever, and I always see this Deb woman who would be in there, and she was a big Anthony Cumia fan. Obviously I was an Opie and Anthony fan, so we had kind of that in common. And one time she asked, "Hey, could I, because I was doing like call-ins," and so she tried to call in, and I think she might have been drunk and called in, and I was like, "Wow, she's pretty good." And then she said, "Hey, can I come on the show sometime?" And so I sent her the link, and we did it and hit it off. And one thing that I've found in my time, so thing I learned from going way back when I did that football thing, it is so effing hard. And anybody that's done this would probably agree with me. It's really hard to do like what a Melton does, or even a Kevin when he doesn't have a guest. Like, to be solo is really, really hard. It's good to have someone as a co-host, someone you can bounce things off of, someone who foils you really well. So someone who's not exactly the same as you. So Deb is, she's a gal, she's a lady, and but she's got different interests. She has more of the shit verse mentality, and brought a lot of that to the show. So that's kind of where some of this stuff has come from. And yeah, it's good to have someone who can, you can play things off of, and
Right,
she's
and it's
also
it's
a
definitely
tough
better
chick.
if you guys, yeah, if you guys have like differing opinions. Like that's kind of what you want on the fucking show, is somebody that you can, you know,
That's
I
the thing
I, I
I
guess.
don't like about like Carl and Shuli. Like, they have their shows, and it's not necessarily an indictment on them, but I don't like this yes each other show where everybody, like, they all laugh at each other, they all agree with each other. Like, I want like some contentiousness. I want some debate. I want, a little bit of friction every once in a while. And Deb and I aren't afraid to mix it up. I think we have a good enough relationship where we'll call out each other's bullshit, and we'll argue about things, and we'll have different perspectives. And I like that. And I also like, I like having more than just the white guy perspective. I like having a lady. I like having, I mean, there aren't a lot of non-whites, unfortunately, in the shitverse. It doesn't seem like, although I guess there are some.
That's
But
not true. I got a damn co-host, black and kind of gay.
oh yeah, that's right. The fat black guy.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yep. Marquise Blackachew 666. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that exactly. So like, that's great to have someone on the show who's a little bit different, adds a little different color perspective. I'm a big fan of the ladies. There's so many like interesting gals. It's always interesting to hear kind of a female perspective on things. And Deb's kind of like one of the guys from a female perspective, but she is a woman, so she will tell you how a woman thinks. And yeah, it doesn't hurt to have a little bit of somebody play off of.
Sam Bibley saying he's the Black Merce. You got wonky eyes. Like what does that mean? You're black with wonky eyes? Yeah, come on. Um, yeah, speaking of that though, like who other than like Johnny and shit and Steel Toe, have you been getting into like you said you didn't really fuck with the John shit. I don't really either. Um, have you ever worked with like Shuli or any of those guys or no?
No, there was one episode where I kind of made a Shuli comment, and it got, I don't know, clipped, or it got back to him or whatever, and he had a laugh about it. And in fact, I think it was actually both John and Shuli. So, and I don't really make a habit of going after people, although I did have a recent little episode about Kevin Brennan, and that kind of caused some ruffling of feathers, and in some comments. But I'd love to do something with Julie or Carl, or Melton or any. I'm pretty much I'm neutral,
You're a
but I'm
very
also I'm
fluid
fluid.
character.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
very
there you
fluid
go.
character, but I also will call out bullshit. So like, if you don't want to hear me call out bullshit, then you're not going to want to deal with me. I think that's probably why we get along so well. Is we see something, we call it out, and we'll bust people's balls just like you would with your buddies, and that's the way I like it. And I'm not so this getting back to like we were talking about Steel Toe, about kind of that desperate mode where some of these people they're like all in on it, and the desperation comes across. It's like when you're trying to get a woman, for instance, try to date. If she sees that you're desperate, that is like the biggest turnoff in the world. And I think the same thing with like these shows. If you're desperate and you like, man, I need my super chats and my super chat, and you're just freaking out about all of that, that comes across. You come across as desperate. But if you don't have anything to
Project
lose,
that energy. You project that fucking energy onto your audience too. People don't really like it. I mean, unless they're there to make fun of you. In Aaron's case, can we read this one real quick before you continue?
sure, absolutely.
Missed a beat. Denounce Melton, Grandma. Trust me, I'm looking out for you. No, I don't have any investment in any of that. That's none of that has any fucking thing to do with me. So I mean, they can do whatever they want. It honestly, tell you the truth, I'd go on with Melton. I'd go on with Aaron. It did like it. I don't have any investment in any of this. I hold no allegiance to any man.
And I'm the
So
same way. Like I'm not here to like create like fake alliances, and if you support this person, then you're against this person. I fucking hate that shit. Like that's one thing that pisses me off with Kevin Brennan, and I don't know how much of it's a work and how much is real, but if you go on certain shows or you do certain things, then you're excommunicated and you're not cool with him anymore, and he wants to control you because he gave you $50 to go on his show. Fuck you. If you want to control me, you're not my boss. $50 is nice, but that ain't gonna fucking change my life all that much, to be honest. So I'm not desperate. I'm in it for the love of the game, really, at the end of the day. I'm in it to just laugh. Everything I do because it amuses me. If it's not fun and I'm not having fun and I don't find it funny, then I don't want to do it. Like that's the rule that I live by. And I would stop this tomorrow if it wasn't fun anymore. If it got to a point where it impacted my life or I just didn't like it, then I just go back to doing what I'm doing. Fucking, back to the
find a
grind.
different hobby, dude. I
Yeah,
mean, that's
find a
what
different
it
hobby.
is. That's all it is, man. Like people do get like so invested in it. So I know you didn't ask, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I came from the Bubba the Love Sponge
Oh, nice.
place. So yeah, I used to be a caller. I would call Bubba and shit, call all the fucking ancillary shows and whatnot. And that's how I got into streaming and shit. And then I would do some other shit. Like I fucking, you know who Cardiff is?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That fucking retarded potato used to call our show all the goddamn time, and I broke the damn he eats cum story. That's where the whole fucking thing comes from. It comes from back in the Twitch days when he would call into this show, and he wasn't a potato at the time. He was, this is the world famous Cardiff Electric Podcast. We like, who the fuck is this, man? He would call us too damn much, actually. But anyway, I'm glad for him. I'm glad that the stuttering John shit for them took off. Like, I just don't get it. Carl to me is kind of a fucking pussy bitch. Like, but
Yeah.
hey, man, like I don't like his demeanor. But that goes for a lot of people too.
The one problem that I have with a lot of those people is they're very gatekeepery because they want to really kind of protect their little thing that they've got that they've kind of created. They have this little the stutter. Carl started with Jocktober, so he basically took an idea that Opie and Anthony had of making fun of other shows, and that's kind of who are these podcasts derived from.
Now, who did that? Carl did with Jocktober?
Yeah, that's pretty much what.
Okay.
Who are these podcasts? And he kind of ingratiated himself with Kumia, so he kind of got the rub from Kumia that helped kind of take that off. Did a lot of good self promoting, but he was kind of like first to the game a little bit. So now they have this little insular kind of thing, and there's Cardiff's in there and Shuley to a certain extent, a little bit, but it's a little different, and but it's all kind of Now it's sort of gravitated toward the Stuttering John thing, which is the thing I like the least about the shitverse stuff. The Stuttering John, like maybe in small doses, but like I don't get. This is the thing I don't get. I don't get the Shuli shit where they spend every fucking day analyzing every little nuance of this fucking guy's life. He's not interesting enough to spend every day, at least for me. I feel like I have a pretty good sense of humor. And yeah, there's things to laugh about with Stuttering John, but to dedicate yourself, Chuli's like my age. He's a middle-aged man. He's got a family. He spent like I couldn't imagine telling my wife, yeah, I'm gonna spend 3 hours today talking about this fucking washed up radio guy who's a drunk.
Talking about a grown man, yeah.
Talking about another grown man, and then I'm buying his, I'm going to a yard sale to buy his couch, and I'm talking about because he farted and he's got stains on his shirt and he's drunk and his kid is a tranny and like, at what point do you broaden your horizon and talk about something else? And I think if Bob Levy is truly being honest and is not doing like a little work that they like to do, I think Bob Levy was probably sick of talking about it every day. At least I would be. I couldn't imagine. Is it really worth the money to do that every day? To me, it feels like you're selling your soul. Like I just couldn't live with myself if I woke up in the morning. And sometimes not even doing that, I say, damn, what the fuck are you doing with yourself? Like you're talking about fucking idiots on the internet. And then that rubs off pretty quickly and then you get right back to it. But if I was doing Stuttering John content every single fucking day, I would not literally blow my brains out, but I'd be thinking about it. Like I couldn't imagine that. And it seems like they really are all in on that. And they've hitched their wagon to that. And if Stuttering John goes away tomorrow, then what do you do? I just feel like it doesn't make any sense to me. I don't get it. It just feels entertainment, like entertainment bankruptcy. It doesn't rub me. But there's other stuff that's interesting. Like say what you will about Chad. Chad like tries to switch things up and he does different things and he's
keep it
does
fresh,
things with
man.
his shows.
Yeah.
He keeps it fresh.
I can't. Okay. So like, let me compare this. Right, I'm a house painter. I fucking hate going to the same house for fucking 8 months. Like that's why I don't like to do custom work. I can do it very well. But like,
hey, Granny, go back and repaint the house again. Put another coat on. Like that, you want to kill yourself, right? Like, it's like, dude, I already did this fucking house 10 times.
No, I don't want. No, I don't. Unalive.
Well, maybe that's a
or whatever. I don't know, man. Fuck it. I'm not monetized anyway. But with that being said, yeah, no, it's just a dredge, dude. And I like to keep shit fucking, like you said, fresh and entertaining. And I think that rubs off on people. I couldn't do the Stuttering John shit. A little inside baseball. I know that's a lot of the reason Levy separated himself from that. So
yeah. By the way, Peter Sky Parker, I love his comment that he says, I have similar thoughts. Why do I go on YouTube every day and complain about everyone's audio? Yeah, exactly. We all have that existential moment, right? It's like, what am I really becoming? What is it that I do every day? Is this really who I want to be defined by? Yeah. So that's hilarious.
Let's see. Mr. Beat says, poor Bob Levy. That dude needs to learn a trade. He's fucking 65 years old, man. I think that ship has sailed, brother. Yeah,
the ship has sailed for Bob. For better or for worse, Bob is a road comedian, and he's a funny guy. I like Bob, and I haven't done anything with him yet. We've been kind of teasing doing something. So hopefully I'll get on one of these shows when we get Bob on there, whether it's Jack or you or something, or I'll have him on my show when I kind of get back in January. I love Bob. I think he's a hoot. He's just a chill dude. He seems fun. I like Gina. Gina seems like a chill gal too. Like that's what I like. It's like I don't like these people that take the shit too seriously, man. Just enjoy it. It's fun. We're just fucking telling dick jokes at the end of the day. That's really all this is. And some people are better at it than others. And hopefully you get an audience. Hopefully people think that you're entertaining. If you're not entertaining, then it is what it is. And then you're just doing your thing. But if it's fun, it's fun. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, Bob is a hoot, man. He's fun to work with, dude. Some of the funniest fucking streams I've been on in quite some time were with Bob, fucking laughing our dicks. Actually, we had Bob and Dixon on not too long ago. I don't know if you saw any of that, but it was just a good time.
Yeah. Yeah, I went on Pat's show recently, and that was fun. Like, I like his show. I like him playing the piano, and I'm thinking about doing the super tip thing. I know Lemmy does that, right? The super tips where you can kind of have the voices. I'll have to talk to Moody or whatever his name is there over with Melton.
Yeah, why not, man?
I'd like to have maybe a granny voice pop up every once in a while on my show, or whoever else we got as opportunities. But yeah, that seems like I was kind of at first. I'm like, oh, I don't want to give Melton my money or whatever. But it's kind of adds another element. I like to do so. Like as I was saying before, this is the studio behind me. You guys will see it better in a month. It's still a work in progress. There's still stuff I'm putting together. I'm gonna have multicams. I'm gonna try to have fun with it. It's just fun silliness. Like there's the dinosaur. There's just goofy stuff. And I just like to add little funny elements, right? I don't take this too seriously. I don't take myself seriously. Yeah, that's what it's all about, is having fun. And I love my chat. If you didn't notice, people make fun. People have all kinds of little inside jokes on my show about diapers and all kinds of
What, you
random
wearing
stuff.
a diaper, brother?
No, but somebody on one of these forums said that Dan likes diapers. And then it became like a thing. Like everybody's like, Dan likes diapers. So now I'm like the diaper guy. So you'll see people say diaper gang, Dan likes diapers, diaper crew. So sometimes it'll show up on other shows, diaper gang represent or whatever. They're talking about like my show. So there's a lot of like little weird kind of things. But I like
But
that.
what's the
I
diaper?
lean into
What the
it. It's
fuck's
funny.
the diaper about, Dan?
I have no idea. It's really like weird. So the Opie and Anthony thing. So I've been on that subreddit. There's an O&A forums that I've been on, and people bust each other's balls. People make fun of my eyes. They say like I got retard eyes. I got this, that, and the other thing. They doxed my family. Like people just whatever they can find, any little thing that they'll pick on, and people will just come up with something. They'll just say, Granny likes, diarrhea or something. And then next thing you know, everybody's like, diarrhea Granny. It just becomes a thing. And diapers was one of those things. One funny thing was there was one night where I was a little shit-faced and I was fighting with someone online. And this guy was talking shit about me. And I knew that he had like this really shitty house that he lived in. And I said, well, hey, F word, I got five bathroom sinks in my house. How many fucking bathroom sinks do you have?
Damn, what the fuck? Bathroom sinks? That doesn't
Bathroom
include the
sinks.
kitchen?
Does include the kitchen. So
Oh,
I have a
shit.
master bedroom, another bedroom, and they both have like double sinks, and then I have a guest bathroom.
Oh,
So it's kind of,
okay.
it's a little bit of a cheat code, but I just thought it was funny. I thought it was just something silly I said when I was drunk. So now everybody likes, oh, Dan's got 5 sinks. So that's like an ongoing kind of little meme that I'm the 5 sink guy. So no, K, I do not wear diapers. I am very continent and I do not need to wear diapers. But
It just
but it
sounds
is
like you wear fucking diapers a little bit, man. That's fine. Like Barry wears them. He's doing well.
I'm not quite at maybe in 20, 30 years I might need them, but I'm good right now. I got control of my goods right now, so I'm happy with that.
Oh, there you go. There you
By the way,
fucking go.
by the way, funny thing. So I saw you post in the YouTube channel. Somebody also took Nice Podcast Stupid from me on YouTube. So I think if you actually go to that link, it's like a fake show of mine that references diapers. That's how
I didn't vet it, and yes, there was a diaper thing on it. So
5 sinks
I'm
isn't
not.
that standard? Yeah, it should be standard. Everyone should have 5 bathroom sinks in their house. So I definitely
No, how the
DJ
fuck
Electra,
does that make sense?
DJ Electra says diarrhea granny. See, it's already taken off there. We made it a thing. Diarrhea granny, that's a thing now. So if you see diarrhea,
It's not gonna be a thing, Dan. Don't try to make it a thing. It's not a fucking thing.
Yeah,
all right.
Do not make that a thing. Do not make it a thing.
You call me white trash, whatever. I am that. I do have diarrhea sometimes. I guess you can call me diarrhea granny. That'll be all. I'll be all right. Damn, someone is rich. 5 bathroom sinks. Well, that means he's got 2 double fucking vanities. We got 2.5 baths.
Yeah, 2. I have 2. It's not. I have a nice house. Don't get me wrong, but it's
3,500 square foot, isn't it?
Give or take something like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, roughly.
Yeah, it's It's like a little McMansion-y kind of house, but you wouldn't want, like in Massachusetts where I live. I paid way too much for it. In fact, somebody looked up where I live and was like, Dan's house went down $30,000 in value. Fuck you, Dan. You idiot. And I'm like, we should all be so lucky that their house is so valuable that it can actually depreciate that much in such a
30
short period of
grand.
time.
Yeah, I rent a trailer, man.
But no, but so there's a lot of little inside jokes, but I like that. I lean into it, and I think we should all be able to laugh at ourselves. So people make fun of me for things, and it's all good. And then I'm going to make fun of them over things. So it goes both ways.
As you should, which Sam Bibley's doing in the chat as we speak. We can say that Granny got beat up by a girl, and it's actually true. Yeah. And yes, several times. Absolutely. Yeah.
And no, I do not shit in my sinks, but I have I peed?
You've never
No, I don't think
shit in a sink once?
No, I don't.
Tub? You got
shitting.
tubs or is it all tile?
I've got one just like solo, just a shower, and then I have one that's a bathtub shower.
Now,
So-
do you got the damn rain thing that comes out of the top and like several shower heads?
The shower has kind of like the two head monster there, so you can like pull it off and do kind of like undercarriage action there.
Yeah. Oh,
And then the other one just kind of does like the streams which is it's pretty good. So I did put in modified shower heads, so they are pretty good ones. So
yeah,
yeah,
you can't get too good of a shower head or the fucking wife. You know what I mean? She'll get in there, fucking the puss beater
then they
3000.
never leave the bathroom. So yeah, shit.
Yeah.
Can't go that route. Speaking of wives, so tell me, so what's it like having a wife who is such a member of this little, or I'm sorry, a significant other, we say a spouse.
Yeah,
spouse.
yeah.
What's it like having a spouse that is so involved in all of this stuff? Like, what's that like?
I mean, it's all right, dude. Like, we don't. I don't know if you've noticed, we don't really work together a lot, man. It's just not like even on BYB and shit. Like the shit that happens back scenes is going to come out a little bit, and so like it's kind of just best to stay separate on that.
Yeah.
But no, I never fight her fights unless I'm asked, and
I don't think she needs anyone to fight a fight for. She's a tough little cookie.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it's like that. I think it's just a mutual respect thing there. Like, if she wants help, ask. If she needs my help, then she'll ask too. I mean, I ask more than that. Hey. Oh, she's asleep.
2 or 3 of the funniest moments of like clips and shows in the shitverse have been Lemmy stuff. Like the Kate Meany one, I think was one of the funniest ones, and then that Will Heron and Keanu thing was also very funny as well. When Lemmy waits and pounces, she could be absolutely one of the funniest people in the world. So she does,
man. She picks her fucking moments, man, and she's good at it. You also have to realize that and I'm not like taking any credit, but like we've been together for 10 fucking years. So like when we argue, it's not easy to fucking. I'll try to twist and turn out of every goddamn thing, and she puts me in my place when I need it. So, and there's those two things fucking coincide, man. We don't really butt heads that much though. It's a pretty relaxing situation, man. But like I said,
awesome.
Even Bubba like went over some shit, and I called him, and he was like, "Why don't you just work it with your wife?" I said, "Bubba, you want to do a fucking stream with your wife twice a week?" And he goes, "All right, you got a fucking point." And I was like, "Yeah, man, it's not, dude. It never ends well."
Yeah, that's a great call. It's something another one of my little recommendations for people that want to do streaming or podcasts or whatever. Do not do it with your significant other. Do not do it with like your parent or something. Like I see Keanu with I guess maybe you could, but I wouldn't bring that person. Lemmy is a unique person where she's pretty a tough cookie, but not everyone can handle that. Look at what happened with Steel Toe. that ruined his relationship, although it might have gone down anyway. But that was a recipe for disaster. Even like you see Carl's wife and Bob's wife, they take a lot of abuse. Once you put yourself out there, you become like a character, and all gloves kind of come off. And I would never put, my wife into that thing. It's like, I'd rather keep it separate. And, even she's,
Yeah.
don't talk about it. Don't, people know her name and will mention, but I don't bring her into this world, and I wouldn't want to. I thought about it. I was like, oh, we could have her on one episode. No, I'm not going to do it. Nothing good comes from it. And then you just don't want to open yourself up to that. So it is cool that Lemmy does her thing. And I like how you guys do it. You sort of have your own kind of shows. You kind of do your own thing. And now that it seems like you're doing a little less of BYB, that there's less of that kind of overlap. You kind of do your own things. And I think that's the right way to do it, because if you guys were doing the Lemmy and Granny show, it's just I don't know. It's a recipe
It's a
for
recipe.
disaster.
Yes, yeah, it absolutely is, man. So like, eventually you're gonna say something to the person that you live with that is going to hurt their fucking feelings when you speak
Yes.
in that multitude, especially I don't care how many days, if it's fucking 8 hours a week. Eventually, I'm gonna fucking say something for sure that's going to piss her the fuck off. And I would just rather avoid that than, like have whatever modicum of success that may come from that show. Now, every now and then, yeah, we will work together. We've already discussed that. But like as far as like a regular show, man, that's never gonna happen.
And I see Mr. Crow in the chat says, who's got a problem with Gina? Gina's awesome. Mrs. C too. I don't have a problem with them. But you're starting to see Gina, they call her Gina Ono or Yoko Levy, and Mrs. C gets kind of a little bit of abuse too. And all it takes is one or two people, and then they become really relentless. There's a lot of fucking cruel, abusive kind of people out there, and you can take it for a while. I don't know. I'm old fashioned, I guess. I think you have to really have a tough exterior to be able to put up with some of this shit, because there's always going to be people giving you shit. There's not a show that goes by where someone's not trolling or saying something. And if you let it get to you, it can be bad. But especially if you bring your significant other into it, and that people are saying, like, let me give an example. If I brought my wife on and somebody started criticizing her or putting things in the chat that were, just low blow, then I feel like I have to defend. And if I don't defend, what does that make
You're
me?
disappointing them. But like, here's the thing: is that again, all right. So in the sphere that we're in with Lemmy, that I don't defend her, man. She's a big girl. She can take care of herself. And when you start to defend it, like it's just going to
and then you open
cause
yourself
like,
up to more.
yeah.
It goes in perpetuity if you get defensive, because if people see that you react to something, then they're going to keep picking at it, right? So you almost have to let it go, ignore it, block them or whatever. That's really the only way that you can deal with it. But
It's blood in the water, man.
Yeah.
Listen, man, you motherfuckers are sharks, and I love it. Like, make fun of whatever the fuck you want to, and that should go uncontested. And that was a big mistake that Aaron made when people started doing it to April. And you can't do that, man.
No.
Either you're on the show and you can take the fucking lashing, or you don't fucking do shows. And you can say whatever the fuck you want about me, man. And I think that's lost on society now too, man. And especially in this world. Dude, I was raised on sticks and stones. May break my bones, but words will never fucking hurt me, man. You do whatever the fuck you want to, but when it's time to fight, we can fight about it too,
Are you still gonna do BYB, or are you kind of gonna do your own thing now? How's that gonna play out for you? Because it's funny, when I first learned about BYB, I thought it was like like you guys had started it. I didn't really realize it was like Quad's kind of thing, right? He's kind of it's sort of his baby, right? Or at least he's kind of been around for the most of the time that's been around. But it seems like you guys are kind of trying to do more of your own, kind of work on your own individual channels, maybe sort of drop in every once in a while, but kind of sort of do your own thing. Am I correct with that, or is that
Yeah,
accurate?
yeah. Yeah, no, you're 100% correct, man. 3 days a week, and then me talking about shit I didn't really want to kind of push that out, and then let me, same way, but there's no bad blood or anything. We'll still
Yeah.
make guest spots or whatever. But yeah, for the
Because he wants
most
to do
part,
more of like a clip show, right? Like that's kind of not really the vibe that you're going for. It feels like you kind of
no,
want to
fuck
do
no.
a different thing.
No, in the direction it moved. And so when we first started with BYB, which was fucking damn, man, 2.5, 3 years ago, don't quote me on it, somewhere around there. It was a different show, dude. And then like we got into all like it got into all the drama shit. And I don't really like talking about that. I mean, I know we've done it here or whatever, but it's just not something that appeals to me in like the traditional sense. Like I want to get on and make people fucking laugh, not be like, hey, look at this fucking guy. Oh, have y'all seen Dan today? He's got fucking glasses on inside. Like no, I don't. I
Yeah.
don't do, I don't like doing shit like that.
Did you
So,
see what happened on this show? Yeah, it seems like it's very repetitive. By the way, I just want to address one thing I saw in the chat. I saw DJ Electra and KB, who I both adore.
okay.
They're
Let me
both awesome
find it.
chicks. Don't get it twisted. I'm not saying for women not to be doing this or be, streaming. KB was awesome the other night. I actually reached out to her. I said, you did awesome with like the Chad and Chow show. She was fucking fantastic. DJ Electra, I've seen your show. You're really good. You're awesome at this. It's not anything to say that women can't or shouldn't do it. I was more talking about just like bringing in someone who's like close to you. I just wouldn't want
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
put
So,
somebody in my family, a friend that I didn't feel like. I mean, obviously Lemmy doesn't need any help. She's good at it. And if I was dating or married to somebody who did it or was, a comedian or whatever, I would have no qualms about it. But just kind of like a regular person, like I wouldn't bring my mom on. Well, maybe I would
don't
do it
bring
once.
somebody on air that feels personally obligated to defend you from the chat. And
Yeah.
that's the biggest fucking thing. That's the biggest mistake people make, man. Even if
Yeah.
I was on a show with Lemmy, she can take care of herself. You're a fucking strong woman. You can take care of yourself. And then don't get mad when we're like, hey man, no, you got this. Like I have full faith in you that you can fucking take this.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, I forgot what we were even talking about. What's your favorite fish, Dan? All
Ooh,
time?
my favorite fish.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm from New England, so I
Okay.
love seafood, like probably more than any person you're gonna meet. I eat anything, and when I say anything, pretty much if you pull it out of the ocean, I will eat that son of a bitch. I go to
You
like a
like
sushi
monkfish?
restaurant, monkfish. Yeah,
Yeah,
hell yeah. Fuck
they're pretty
catfish.
good.
I'll eat anything, man. What I will say one of my favorites, and you can't really get it anymore, is shark. Mako shark is
Oh, so good,
fantastic.
man. I love shark steak. That's
Yeah,
that. Oh, damn, Dan. We're connecting on different levels. Shark is my favorite. It's not really a fish, it's a shark, but dude, shark steak's the best, man. Mako's really good.
yeah.
Black tip's actually pretty fucking good too, man.
And I don't know if it's, it's a Japanese or somebody, they fished them too much, so like I think they might even be endangered now. So it's really hard to get. But if you can, shark steaks are amazing. They're really really good. Just great fish. Um,
They're irony, like not the fucking euphemism for
that
irony,
because
but
that
the
you're eating a thing
irony.
they could eat you. Is that that whole thing?
Yeah, no, it's like the liver of the sea, kind of. They got a lot of iron in them because it's one bone. They're
Oh,
easy as
iron. Okay,
fuck to
yes.
clean too. I'm white trash. I told you this, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like swordfish. Somebody mentioned, yeah. So it does take. It's very similar to swordfish. I really like eel. That's probably makes people. Ooh, that's people would go gross. Eel is one of the best tasting sushi that you can get. Unagi, fantastic, really
It is
good.
good. Yeah,
I
man.
mean, obviously,
I'm
I'm
with
a
you there.
big lobster guy. I could drive to Maine in 2 hours and get like the best lobster pretty much in the world. So I'm definitely I love oysters.
Well, I'm gonna argue with that because I did some lobster fishing. but it was in Gloucester. You know where
Oh
Gloucester is?
yes, absolutely. Yep, up the North Shore.
Mhm.
Yeah, love Gloucester. My lesson just
Yes,
says
yeah.
most scallops are actually shark. That's interesting. I did not know that, but I do
You
love
didn't know that?
scallops. Really? Oh, it's pieces of shark.
It's either Mako or they'll punch circles out of stingray fins because stingray tastes just like shark. So
Okay,
yeah,
interesting.
most scallops are either fucking punched out of stingray or Mako fillets.
The big ass fucking scallops are. That's another one that's amazing. Yeah, there's so much great seafood in New England. I would hate to be from New England and be like have like a shellfish allergy or something like some people have. You would miss out on so many delicious things. But yeah, you put anything in front of me seafood and I will absolutely eat it. I love seafood. What about
Crawdads?
you?
Oh fuck, I'll fuck seafood up, dude. But I have broke out from crawdads.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever had crawdads. Maybe once or twice when traveling. You don't really get those up here.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I think that's more of like a Gulf
Yeah,
uh,
southern type of
thing.
deal. It is, yeah. Matter of fact, we got a Cajun in here. Says eel, gar, delicious. All right, fuck you on the gar because you got a fucking cut that to. You ever cleaned a fish, Dan?
Long time ago, when I used to fish when I was younger, I haven't cleaned a fish in a long time. That was like my least favorite thing to do. Probably why I stopped fishing because I hated cleaning them.
So to clean the fucking gar, man, you got to use wire snips on the back of them because they're so fucking hard, and then you let the fucking meat sit in milk overnight.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Yeah,
No, it's
I
not.
wouldn't
Like
know
you just
gar
don't
at
eat
all.
it. They would say that the only people that eat gar start with knee.
Ah, okay.
if you get where I'm going there.
Yep. Crabs are great
Oh.
too. Somebody mentioned crabs. Crabs are fantastic. You can get those down in kind of Maryland area, kind of mid-Atlantic. Great,
What,
great
like snow
crabs.
crab? What's your favorite type of crab, man? If we're
Hard
getting into
shell,
seafood.
just kind of, yeah,
Two
more.
eyes, couple claws.
Yeah, just your typical hard shell kind of Maryland crab. That's kind of how I roll. I've never cleaned and cut crabs. No, so I I can't speak to that. That doesn't sound like a lot of fun. I am an expert though at a lobster. You give me a lobster, I could take that son of a bitch apart. I've taken more lobsters apart in my life than anyone. So I'm always the guy that like they pass me the lobster if they never used it before, and I'll like just break the whole thing up. In fact, if you're a friend of mine, one of my favorite Christmas gifts or holiday gifts, I love to send Legal Seafoods, which is a very popular seafood restaurant from the Boston area. You can send lobsters to anywhere in the United States, and they come freeze dried. So I've sent them before to my sister's family, and her spouse got it, and they were like, "Well, hey, the lobsters are dead." And I said, "Whoa, the lobsters are dead. What happened?" I sent like 6 lobsters to them for like the holidays. Yeah, they came and the thing's not moving. And I just said, well, they come frozen. So like they were in like the freeze dry or whatever. And then right as I said that, the lobster started like moving, like it started becoming unfrozen. It's like, oh, I think the lobsters are alive. I was like, thank God, because the problem with lobsters is once they die, it's over. Like you got to
Yeah.
eat it right away. Unfortunately, people argue about how humane eating lobsters is because sometimes you throw them in the pot and you can hear them like lay out a little bit of a
Yeah, they
like they're-
squeal a little bit, man. But that's
yeah.
just I always thought that was just the damn oxygen escaping as they were
That's
boiling.
why you go head first, throw them in head first. So hopefully
Yeah. So
it's
they
a
don't
quick one.
scream.
Yeah. Leo
Yeah, I
Gunn
get
in the
that.
house. Leo Gunn, how are you, brother? Oh
Oh, I don't
man.
see you. I don't know how far back you are. But hey, Leo Gunn, how's it going, man?
Can you ship me some
Um,
paws? I can't
so
help you with
like
the paws.
how the fuck do you get good at eating lobster? Like, what do you like crack the back on them and one tap it? Like you suck all the meat out at once? Or
Yeah, I mean, so with lobsters, the best part for the average person, right, is the tail, right? That's where the meat, that's where a lot of the meat is, and then like the big
yeah.
claws are that's where like the good meat is. There's little like the little legs, you can sometimes like suck them out if you want. To me,
Hey,
that's
you're
I,
sucking
I
on lobster legs, bro?
That was like when you're a kid, you give the kid the lobster leg and you like suck out the meat on that. There's very little of
Okay.
it. It's more just like kind of the taste of it. And then you crack the sucker open. They always come with the nutcracker thing for the claws, and then there's like little utensils you can pull the meat out with. But true story, and I would tell this to anyone if you're getting into like lobsters. Some of the best tasting part of the lobster is the fucking the head area, like the green stuff that looks like
Oh, you
guacamole.
sucking on lobster heads, huh?
Oh hell yeah, dude! I get right in that
Oh,
fucking
you're a
guacamole,
nasty
man.
motherfucker, dude. You suck them damn heads.
Lobster mac is great, by the way, Dr. Chow. Lobster mac and cheese could be like the greatest
Oh,
comfort food of all time. If you get really good lobster mac and cheese, I can't speak to the Panera one, but I've had some restaurants that are into the comfort foods, and man, you can get some really good ass lobster mac and cheese, especially in New England.
now
Lobster bisque
have
is great too.
you ever fucked around with some gator meat, man?
Hell yeah, brother. Oh fuck yeah. When I've been down in Florida, I love the gator meat. Love gator, love frog. I love it all. But gator meat is really good. Yeah, I'm down with that.
A fresh gator meat, like it's like seafood and chicken. And, like it doesn't taste like chicken because it's got a seafood tang to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got a
So
little bit of a different kind of a little different vibe there. I love it, man. I'd love go down on the fan boat, look for the gators, then come back to whatever the restaurant is and
hit him
dip
with the
them in
damn
butter.
bang stick, man. Pow! You ever hit a gator with a bang stick?
I have not. No, I've never hit him with the bank stick. In fact, I feel kind of gypped. The one time I went down there, like the last I don't know maybe 4 or 5 years, I did one of those tours, and I don't think we saw one gator the whole time. They're like, oh, they're gonna be around the corner, and seeing they were all hiding. So
Oh, for real?
yeah, I think we maybe saw one. Maybe I don't even.
You got to come down here. You got to talk to me, man. I mean,
Okay.
I can't really go any further than that, but yeah, come talk to me. We'll get you a gator. How
All
big
right.
you
Yeah.
you want a big ass one? You got to pay for it to get processed.
I'd love to see a gator. Maybe not get too close to it. I'm not looking to do like the gator hunter guy there or whatever. I'm not trying to
Oh no, we'll
be
get up
Steve
close and
Earwart.
personal, man. Don't worry, I got you, bro.
What are you supposed to move like lateral? Is that how you get away from it? So
On land, yeah, no, you're just fucked in the water. But if you got a boat, they don't understand boats very well.
yeah, I guess as long as you have the boat, you're good.
Yeah, kayak, something like that.
I love Florida though. I was thinking about moving down to Florida if I hadn't bought this house in the last I think about it 4 years ago, 3 or 4 years ago. I was actually down. So that's a good question for you. If you could live anywhere in Florida, I know I won't dox you where you live. I think I have a good idea sort of where
Central
you live.
Florida. I'm in
Central
Central
Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could live anywhere in Florida, where would you, and just let's say money wasn't an issue within reason. Like, let's not say you were rich, but you could afford most reasonable locations.
Yeah.
Where would you want to live in Florida if you could choose one place to live?
I would go north central Florida, man.
Okay.
Like somewhere in the forest. I mean, that's just me though. I don't really like to be around people. It depends on what you're looking for because Florida's huge, man. Like there's
Yeah,
so much like untaken land at this point. Like, dude, so many people have moved here since fucking 2020.
I know.
It
It seems
it
like
it
everybody and their mother fucking moved down there, and everything's fucking. When I went down there, I was looking at Sarasota. I was looking at Tampa. I've been a lot of times down in Miami and Fort Lauderdale. I mean, I've been all over. I've seen, all the different places. And yeah, there's a lot of cool people tell me St. Augustine's pretty cool too. I've heard good things about there, but
I
there's
mean,
just so
it's
many
all
different
right.
places. Sorry?
St. Augustine's okay. I mean,
Sorry.
like like again, like you would have to define what part of St. Augustine. Because like if you move like into the city, like I would never live next to the coast. I'm not fucking retarded. I've been in Florida my whole life, dude. Like you know what I don't want to happen? A hurricane come fucking absolutely shit on everything I just bought.
That's the problem, man. Is those fucking if it wasn't for the hurricanes, I'd be that in fact that's probably like the number one reason, like with the insurance and the flood zones and things like that.
Don't live on
It
the
makes it
coast.
so hard. Yeah, but
It's
that's
easy.
you
Don't live
want to
on the
live. You
fucking
want to
coast.
kind of live near the. It's like it's a catch 22. You going down
What are
there,
you
not
talking
living near
about,
the
Dan?
coast.
Dan, I live dead slap in the middle of Florida. You know how long it takes me to get to the fucking beach? Either side, an hour.
Really?
Why
Okay.
the fuck do I need to live on the coast? I
Okay.
live
All right.
guarded by the forest.
Okay. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that's an interesting way to look at it. I know Dr. Chow keeps saying Panhandle. Panama City Beach, yeah, spring break. I went there twice in the '90s, back when I was in college. Fucking
I
spring
lived there for
break.
years, man. I lived in Fort Walton
Club
Beach
La
for fucking like
Vila, yes.
yeah, 2.5 years. I lived in Fort Walton Beach, man.
Spinnakers.
I wouldn't do it again. No, man. They got one fucking road that goes up the coast, dude. If the bridges go out, you're fucked. Like it literally took us 6 hours to get home one time because a drunk fucking crane operator hit the bridge. Like no, man. The Panhandle's nice to visit. I wouldn't fucking live there.
Yeah, that's definitely more of
I did.
stop for a vacation. I don't know that I'd want to live there either. Not really
No,
my
man, it's
vibe.
not cool. There's a lot of cool places. It's really nice to visit, man. If you ever go to Destin, go to McGuire's. Holy shit, dude. McGuire's fucking state Irish pub.
Okay,
They're fucking
nice.
everything there's phenomenal. It's a little pricey, but phenomenal food there.
I could get down with that. Sounds like my vibe. Definitely would like that. I mean, I love Miami, but it's it's super expensive. I mean, everywhere's expensive, I guess. Yeah, I don't know where I would move, but I think eventually, I think in the next 5 years, I'd like to move to Florida. Why not? I can't fight it anymore. I feel like I have Florida inside me. I feel like Florida is calling me to come down there.
Oh, you'll be here, man. And like I said, just check out North Central Florida, man. Land's cheap. There's tons of it. North Central Florida. I mean, you'll get all the amenities and shit you want, and you're close-ish to like everything you want to do, man. You want to drive to St. Augustine? It's fucking an hour away, dude. St. Augustine kind of sucks. There's really not a whole lot to do there. You can go see the fort. You know what I mean? What the Spaniards had built back in like 1400 or
I'd
whatever.
probably end up somewhere near like Tampa or Fort Lauderdale or something like that.
You'll be down there with all the damn dweebs dealing with the fucking traffic.
Yeah, I know. We'll see. We'll see. I got plenty of time to figure it out. I'll maybe by then people will start leaving and things will get cheaper again, but probably not. It seems like everybody wants to get down to Florida these days.
Well, Dan, we're trying to run them out. Trust me. Dude, it used to take me 25 minutes from one county to the end of the other county in this fucking. Now it takes me an hour and a half. Like it is insane how many fucking people are here.
Yeah.
Oh shit, G-Log's saying he always goes back to St. Pete, gayest beach in the world. Hell yeah, man. Fuck yeah, a lot of queers around there. But yeah, like I said, the Tampa area, it's all right, dude. I mean, it's all right. I'm a fucking
Yeah, the
woods dude.
waterfront. You get the bikes and you go up and they always the walkway or whatever they call it. That's wherever I go down. I have actually a cousin that lives down in Tampa, so I've been down there a few times. It's a cool city. I mean, it's got a lot of nightlife. It's got a lot of kind of, if you like the city thing, it gives you some of that. It gives you a little bit of, it's somewhat cosmopolitan, but not ridiculous. It's like a Florida cosmopolitan vibe. It's not too bad, but yeah, I mean, I could give
It's gotten worse, trust me. But with
it?
that being said, like, so like I think it like towards the end of my years, I'll probably end up living in a place called Salt Springs, Florida.
Okay.
And I already talked to my sisters or whatever. I'm giving them my inheritance to have the house or whatever. And like ain't a motherfucker out there. I mean, it's in a neighborhood. There's people around and shit, but like, you don't see cops unless they're called. You don't see, like shit like that, man. Like, but I'm a fucking secluded woods ass motherfucker. I don't really like fucking with people.
Yeah, it sounds like a cool vibe. I don't know that I'm quite to the level of you are with the seclusion. I think I'd probably get a little bored with it. I need something to kind of, but I did move out to the suburbs, so I'm like an hour south of Boston now. So I'm I don't mind being an hour away from something, but I don't want to be 2 hours away from things, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I need, I think.
So even in that fucking point of living in the woods and shit, like I'm 30 minutes away from two different cities, if you will.
Cool.
So like yeah, either way you can drive 30 minutes either way, depending on what you want to do. And there's like okay, so there's not a stoplight, but like I said, you're close to everything. You're an hour away from fucking St. Augustine. You're an hour away from each coast, and you're protected by the forest from the hurricanes. So the only thing that you have to really worry about with the hurricanes is the wind, the trees falling.
Mm.
No storm surge or anything like that. And that's the biggest thing, man. You live on the fucking coast like that, like a fucking dumbass.
And then you gotta have a
You-
fucking kayak in your house. The other thing
yeah,
too, I
man.
can't get over is the no basements, right? I mean, like I don't know what I'd do without my basement. I've always been a basement guy. Like I've always had a furnished basement. I've always had storage room. It feels like there's just like very little
Very
storage you get in a
far,
Florida house.
very far and few between, man. You get a shed or two.
Yeah, you gotta
But
get
yeah,
like
no,
some
the
add-on
ground
just for your
isn't.
storage.
Yeah, you're digging into the fucking aquifer, motherfucker, fill up with water, dude. You can't like really build like that. There are some houses I've done that have basements in Florida, but it's very little.
Yeah, and you're always probably worried about shit seeping in and gators
Right,
finding their way in there.
Florida's fucking damn near all lime rock, so
Yeah.
Chow, there's a ton of forest and the bay up in the panhandle. Don't you think that keeps it pretty safe? No, not really, man. I mean, when you're centrally located, it depends on where you're talking, man. If you're talking about goddamn Crestview, Crestucky, then yeah, you'd probably be all right. But like the closer you get to the coast, the more risk you're taking every time. Especially if you're owning property and a fucking house that's your one house. Like if you can afford several houses, that's cool. But if that's your main fucking house, I don't really recommend it, man. No, the further you go into the Panhandle, there is a ton of forest. But with that being said, most of it's owned by the military. And in the Panhandle, dude, there's always jets fucking flying by. There's always fucking like they're bombing and shit out there. So I didn't really enjoy the fucking Panhandle that much. That was just my take. I don't like. I like to go to the beach. The family didn't really though. So that's my thing about the fucking Panhandle. I lived in a second story fucking apartment, and we went through what was it, Hurricane Michael, the one that fucking wiped that one town like completely off the map.
Oh yeah, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah,
Disappeared. Gone.
but I lived on the second story in a brick fucking apartment building, so I really wasn't worried about it. Like the only thing I was really worried about was the roof getting fucking ripped off. All right, Dan. We're about an hour and a half in, man. You got anything you want to plug? I mean, I think most people here know where everything's going on. I don't really have anything I want to plug.
Yeah, not really. Just Twitter X is nice name stupid. My podcast, nice podcast stupid. I'm taking December off, so this might be the last time you see me on a stream. Deb's gonna still do the show, so definitely check it out. I think she's doing something tomorrow. But yeah, no, this is great. Hopefully we can do it again. Hopefully I'll have you on my show too sometime. And always
Absolutely,
always
man.
love doing collabs with the grand man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I thank you for being here. I think this was a conversation we were looking for. We've been on several panel shows, but it was good to have a one-on-one with you, man. And fuck off. Thanks, D. What an asshole. But no, man, I had a great time, and yeah, we'll work together again for sure sometime in the future, man. I had a great time, so
It's good. Sounds good, brother.
yeah. All right, let me find this outro. Here we go. Are you ready? It's
All
not
right.
mine.